Good evening, my viewers. Today we are going to take a close look into the deadly virus of Ebola. First, we will get a look from the prestigious Dr. Harrison. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with a close friend of mine, Dr. Harrison, who's going to tell us a little about this worry Ebola virus. Thank you for joining us, Harrison.
I'm glad to be here, Dr. Kamal.
So I just have a couple of questions for our curious viewers. First, who discovered this virus?
Well, the virus was originally discovered in 1976 by a Belgian doctor named Peter Piot. And it's a very interesting story behind it. What happened was there was an outbreak going on in the Congo, and nobody knew what was going on. And so some Belgian scientists sent up samples of blood to Peter. And after studying it, he realized it was something they'd never seen before. People had thought that it was the Marburg virus, which had really similar symptoms, but looking at it under a microscope, he saw that it was a worm-like virus, very big, much bigger than most viruses, and he'd never seen it, so that's where it all started.
Now, how in the world did he, come to the conclusion that this was a different virus? So complex.
Well, after reviewing it under the microscope, he went to the Congo because so many people were dying and getting sick, and nobody knew what was going on. So at a village, he figured out that many pregnant women were getting the virus, and so looking into that, he figured out that many the pregnant women were getting shots regularly, and they weren't switching out the syringes or cleaning them, and so he realized that through fluid and physical touches, people were getting it.
Well, that sums it up there. Thank you very much for joining us today, and stay tuned for our next segment. Well, now that we know the history of this deadly virus, let's take a look at how Ebola is spread. And now on to our field reporter, Eric Henning. Now, Eric, can you explain to us how Ebola is spread?
Yes, Kamal. Well, here in Africa, sub-Saharan Western Africa, such as Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, protein is a very hard nutritional resource to find for villagers. So a lot of them resort to eating bushmeat, and this bushmeat can carry the Ebola virus.
What exactly is bushmeat?
Yeah, that's a good question. Bushmeat consists of monkeys, chimps, bats, rats, deer, pretty much any kind of meat villagers can get their hands on.
And how are they responsible for the spread of Ebola?
Well, when these animals are infected and they're killed and eaten for protein, sometimes when they're handled and the kill is fresh, the Ebola virus can spread from the animal to the human who is taking care of the meat. That's why Ebola is a zoonotic disease. And so that's also why the hunters and trappers and sellers of the bushmeat are most at risk for contracting this disease. After that, once they get the disease, a lot of times humans can spread the disease to other humans.
Well, thank you for joining us. Your research efforts are greatly appreciated, Eric.
No problem, Kamal. Thank you.